I am making an updated Shark deck profile for post Rage of the Abyss. And Shark is just one of the decks I've always liked since it was first debuted in Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal back when Generation Force was released. I believe that was around it was either 2015 or 16. No, it's earlier than that. Like maybe 2014, something like that. But I was always liked them, and then their new support makes them a whole lot better. So I figured I'd go ahead and make the update for it. Starting off with the monsters, I play 3 copies of Silent Sea Nettle. Silent Sea Nettle is a free body while you control a water monster. And then, however, you summon it from your hand, then you're locked into water monsters for the entire turn. So that's something to keep in mind with it. And then Silent Sea Nettle also has the grave effect of you can banish it from your graveyard, target 3 water monsters in your graveyard, and return them to the deck. Or you don't return, you shuffle them into the deck. Then next I play 3 copies of Silent Angler. Silent Angler has the effect that while you control a water monster, you can special summon it from your hand, but if you summon it this way, you cannot special summon monsters from your hand for the rest of the turn. And then next, I play 3 copies of the new Drake Shark. Drake Shark has the effect that if it is material to a Shark Drake Xyz monster, that monster gains the following effect, where it can detach 2 materials, target a spell or trap card your opponent controls, and attach it to itself as material. And then it also has another effect where it can be treated as 2. If you Xyz summon number 32 Shark Drake, you can use this monster as 2 materials. And then what was its other effect? Because I know there's more than that. Let's see. If this card's added to your hand, except by drawing it, you can special summon this card. And this card can be treated as 2. Okay, you can only use that effect once per turn, where it's basically Snake Eyes Poplar, where if you add it to your hand, except by drawing it, you summon it. And then next, I play 3 copies of Buzzsaw Shark. Buzzsaw Shark has the effect that once per turn, you can target 1 other fish monster you control. Or you can target 1 fish monster you control. I don't remember, it has to have a level. Or have a specific level. You target 1 water monster you control. Okay, you target 1 water monster you control to then special summon a fish, aqua, or sea serpent that has the same level. Now you summon a fish monster from your deck in defense position that has the same level, but a different name. And if you do, it cannot activate its effects this turn. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Xyz. And if you use it to Xyz summon a water Xyz monster, then it can be treated as level 3 or 5. And then next, I play 3 copies of the main starter / extender with the new stuff is 3 copies of Surfacing Big Jaws. Surfacing Big Jaws has the effect that if this card is used as Xyz or used for the Xyz summon of a water monster, it can be treated as level 3 or 5. You can only use each of its following effects once per turn, which are during your main phase, if a spell card was activated this turn, you can special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for this turn except Xyz monsters. And if it's normal or special summon, you can add a fish monster from your deck to your hand. So one thing you can do with this is you can, if you activate a spell card, then you can special summon Big Jaws. Big Jaws then grabs, what was it? Drake Shark. I had to think about it because I keep wanting to call it Shark Drake. But you can add Drake Shark from your deck to your hand, you can then summon it, and then you can overlay Surfacing Big Jaws and Drake Shark for number 32 Shark Drake. Or you can also just add Buzzsaw Shark, normal Buzzsaw, target Surfacing Big Jaws, summon Drake Shark from the or from your deck, and then proceed to just do other things. And then next, I play 1 copy of Crystal Shark. Crystal Shark has the effect that while it's in your hand or graveyard, you can target 1 water monster on the field, have its attack, and if you do, special summon this card. And then it can be treated as levels 3 or 4 for the summon of a numbered monster. And then one other thing is if it leaves the field after you summon it with its effect, then it is banished. But That never happens because usually you're going to be using it for an XZ summon. And then lastly, for the shark cards I'm playing, I play 3 copies of Abyss Shark. Abyss Shark is a you can activate in hand while you control a water monster to then be able to special summon it, and then you can add a level 3, 4, or 5 fish monster from your deck to your hand. However, one thing to keep in mind is that is part of its summoning effect, so if you activate it in hand and your opponent ashes it, it'll just stay in your hand. And then it has the same effect as Crystal Shark, where if you use it to XZ summon a number monster, then you can treat it as level 3 or 5, or level 3 or 4. And then it also has the effect where I believe if it's used as a material for number. How does that one work exactly? Okay. One other thing with its effect when it summons itself. After it summons itself, it also makes it so that the next battle damage your opponent would take from a number monster that turn is doubled. I remember that was in the effect somewhere, I just couldn't remember where exactly. And now for hand traps. For the hand traps, I play 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird. These hand traps can really be whatever monster or hand traps you like, but I would love it if I could use Limbo Charmies, but they're not worth an arm and a leg to me, so I am playing Droll and Lockbird as well as other hand traps instead. But Droll and Lockbird has the effect that if your opponent adds a card or cards from their deck to their hand during the main phase, then you can quick effect discard this card to the graveyard to then make it so your opponent cannot add cards from their deck to their hand for the rest of the turn. Or neither player can add cards from their deck to their hand for the rest of the turn. And then next, I play 3 copies of Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler has the effect that during your opponent's main phase, you can discard it to your graveyard to then be able to target one effect monster your opponent controls and negate its effects. The best part of Effect Veiler is that it was printed back in the time of what are once per turns, and Effect Veiler is not a once per turn anywhere. Whereas the rest of the hand traps in this deck are. Well, except for another one, but it's more of a trap than a monster, so. But next I also play 3 copies of Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill. Ghost Mourner has the effect that when your opponent special summons a monster, you can discard this card to the graveyard to then be able to target that special summon monster and negate its effects till the end of the turn. And then if it leaves the field for that turn, then your opponent will also take effect damage equal to that monster's original attack. And you can only activate Ghost Mourner once per turn. Speaking of, you can only activate its effects once per turn. I also play 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Ash Blossom has the effect that your opponent would add a card from deck to hand, summon from deck, or send a card from deck to grave. You can discard Ash Blossom to then negate that effect, and if you do... Or actually, I believe it just negates the activation. Yes. Never mind, it negates that effect. My apologies, it does not negate activation. But you discard it, and then it just negates. Pretty simple. Anyway, moving on to the spells. I play 1 copy of Reincarnation Unveiling Mail. Reincarnation Unveiling Mail has the effect of... I apologize, it's been a while since I last looked at it. Where it's also treated as an armored Xyz card. An Xyz monster equipped with this card gains these effects. It can't be destroyed by battle. And then once per turn, if this card battled this turn, quick effect, you can return 1 card equipped to this card to the hand. And immediately after this effect resolves, Xyz summon a water Xyz monster. And then once per turn during the end phase, if this card's in your graveyard because it was sent to this turn, you can equip this card to an Xyz monster you control. You can only activate 1 Reincarnation Unveiling Mail per turn. However, with this deck, most of the time you'll be discarding it to summon your Chaos Shark Drake. And then, of course, this will activate, equipping itself to the Shark Drake. And to finish off the spells, I play 3 copies of White Mirror. White Mirror has the effect that you can target level 4 lower fish monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and then you can add a monster from your deck that has the same name as a summoned monster. One thing to point out is that this is basically a Monster Reborn that can be ashed, so that is something to keep in mind. But it is also part of a 2-card combo that gets you 2 generic negates and a monster negate, which I'll show that later. But next for the traps, I play 1 copy of Virtue Stream and 1 copy of Gozen Match. Gozen Match makes so that each player can only control 1 attribute of monster, where if they control more than 1 attribute, when it's activated, they have to send monsters they control to the graveyard until they only have 1 attribute left. And then Virtue Stream, again, it's been a while, lets you target a fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster you control, and 2 cards your opponent controls to destroy them. And then you can banish this card from your graveyard, target a face-up monster on the field, and then apply an effect based on whether or not it was a water monster. If it was a water monster, then next time it'd be destroyed by battle or it'd be destroyed by card effect. This turn, it's not destroyed. And if it wasn't a water, it becomes a water monster. You can only use each effective Virtue Stream once per turn. Honestly, Virtue Stream is mostly just used to protect your water monsters when your opponent tries to destroy them with cards like Raigeki, Dark Hole, or Lightning Storm. And then lastly, for the traps, I play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence just can be activated from your hand while you control no cards, to then target an effect monster your opponent controls and negates effects. And then if Infinite Impermanence was set when you activated it, then it also negates all spells and traps in the same column as it. So if you activate it, be careful on your turn. You have to be careful because it also negates the spell and trap cards in your column that it was in. I only specify that because it's really bad. It's a really bad feeling when you lose a game because you activated the spell card you really needed and where Infinite Impermanence was. But that is it for the main deck. One thing I like about the Shark deck is that it can comfortably play 15 hand traps, so I do like that. Moving on to the extra deck, I play 2 copies of Toad. Toad is a generic, it's just an Omni Negate for this deck that can, when your opponent activates a card or effect, you send an Aqua monster from your hand or field to the graveyard to negate that card, and if you do, destroy it, and then you have the option of being able to set it to your field. And then Toad also has the effect that when it's sent to the graveyard, you can add a water monster from your graveyard to your hand, which that actually has funny applications for this monster. And then next, because I had 1 extra spot and I thought, why not try to be kind of funny, I play 1 copy of number 17 Leviathan Dragon. Leviathan Dragon has the effect where you can detach a material to have it then gain 500 attack, and then if it doesn't have any materials, it can't attack directly. I'll probably end up actually replacing the number 17 Leviathan Dragon with a 2nd copy of number 32 Shark Drake. But for now, I just think playing Leviathan Dragon's really funny. Speaking of Leviathan Dragon, I also play 1 copy of Lavirtue Dragon. Lavirtue Dragon, what was your effect? Has the effect of a special summon, you can add Virtue Stream from your deck to your hand, and then you can activate one of these effects once. You can only activate one of the 2 effects once per turn, where you can either detach material, or you can detach a material from a monster you control to then add a fish, aqua, or sea serpent monster from your deck to your hand, except for Lavirtue Dragon. And then Lavirtue Dragon also has the effect that you can target 2 Xyz monsters on the field, attach 1 material from each of those from one of those monsters to the other. So one thing you can do with this is you can summon it, get Virtue Stream, detach a material to then get a search. Usually it's going to be something like Abyss Shark. And then you can summon a monster, and then you can use Lavirtue Dragon's effect, moving its other material to the newly summoned Xyz monster. And then, because it is still a Shark deck, I play 1 copy of Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller just has the effect where if any of its materials are originally water, then all water monsters on your side of the field gain 500 attack and defense. And then it also has the effect where you can detach material to then be able to make it so that any Your opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters in their graveyard for that turn. Or is it effects of cards? I don't remember. It's been a while since I actually read Abyss Dweller. Material, your opponent can activate any cards in their graveyard this turn. And then next, I play 2 copies of Stealth Kraken Spawn and 1 copy of number 4 Stealth Kraken. Stealth Kraken has the effect that while it's on the field, all monsters on the field become water. And then during the main phase quick effect, whoa, did not mean to do that. But during the main phase, as a quick effect, you can destroy 1 water monster your opponent controls, and then inflict damage to your opponent equal to half of that monster's original attack points. Or was it take damage equal to its original attack? If you do inflict damage equal to half the attack it had on field. Okay. And then Stealth Kraken also has the effect that if it was destroyed, if the Xyz summoned card was destroyed while it's material, then you can special summon Stealth Kraken Spawn from your extra deck where each material had. And then you can attach a water monster from your graveyard to each Stealth Kraken Spawn that you summoned off of its effect. Which, that's where the toads come into play, where you can then attach a toad to Stealth Kraken Spawn, and when Spawn dies, you can then use Toad's effect to get back a water monster. And then Stealth Kraken Spawn does the exact same thing as Stealth Kraken. It just does not inflict effect damage when it destroys a water monster, nor does it change everything to water. And then when when Stealth Kraken when Stealth Kraken Spawn is destroyed after it was summoned off the effect of Stealth Kraken, it then lets you summon a Stealth Kraken from your graveyard equal to the number of materials they had. Usually it's just 1. So it will be destroyed. You'll activate its effect and then chain Toad, where Toad will then let you get a water monster back, and then Stealth Kraken will then be special summoned back from your graveyard, and then you can attach the Toad to the newly summoned Kraken. And the best part about Toad is that none of its effects are once per turns. Then moving on, I play 2 copies of Bahamut Shark. Bahamut Shark has the effect where once per turn you can detach material from it to special summon a rank 3 or lower water Xyz monster from your extra deck. And then if you use this effect, it cannot attack for the rest of the turn. However, usually when you're using this effect, you're going to be summoning Toad. There's very few instances where you'll actually want to summon Leviathan Dragon or Lavirtue Dragon. Then next, I play 1 copy of number 32 Shark Drake. Shark Drake has the effect that when it destroys a monster in battle, you can detach material to then summon the destroyed monster back from your opponent's graveyard in attack position with 1,000 less attack, and then Shark Drake can attack again. Which, that effect of Shark Drake paired with Abyss Shark is actually really bad for your opponent most of the time. As if Shark Drake destroys a monster with 1,000 or less attack, revives it with its card's effect, as long as Shark Drake didn't deal battle damage with its first attack, due to Abyss Shark's effect, it'll deal 5,600 points of battle damage to your opponent. Assuming everything actually goes through. And then next, I play 1 copy of Chaos number 32, Shark Drake Love Ice. Shark Drake Love Ice, I honestly think is really broken for this deck, as it can be special summoned by discarding a spell card and using a rank 4 Shark Drake Xyz monster you control as material. Where, you transfer its materials to this card, and then once per turn as a quick effect, you can detach material, then target an effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects, and if you do, its attack and defense becomes 0. And then this card can make a second attack during each battle phase, and it does also inflicts piercing battle damage. But usually you also have it equipped with the Unveiling Mail, so it also has the effect where it can't be destroyed in battle. And then it can also detach 2 materials to then be able to target a spell trap your opponent controls and attach it to itself as material. And then I'm also playing 1 copy of Valiant Shark Lancer. While I don't know how I feel about it, I may keep it in the deck, or I may take it out for a copy of Chaos number 32 Shark Drake Vice, just so that Shark Drake Love Ice can have 1 additional material. Mainly because I feel like being able to have 4 materials instead of 3 seems pretty good. But anyway, Valiant Shark Lancer has the effect where once per turn, you can detach a material, target one monster your opponent controls, and then destroy it. I don't remember if it does any burn damage. Okay, it does not. And then if you control another Water Xyz monster, that effect becomes a quick effect. And if another Water Xyz monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, while you control this monster, you can take a spell from your deck and place it on top of the deck. That you're never really going to be using that effect, as that effect is mostly meant for placing Raincoat Magic, the 7th one, on top of your deck. Like I said, I'll either take out Shark Drake Lancer, or I'll take out number 32 Leviathan Dragon for a copy of Chaos number 32 Shark Drake Vice. Mainly because I forgot that you can use Shark Drake Vice and not just Shark Drake. And then lastly, for the extra deck, I play 1 copy of Utopic Future. You Xyz summon this card by using 2 non-number monsters that have the same rank. And then I also play 1 copy of Utopic Draco Future, which you can Xyz summon by using 1 Utopic Future you control. But Draco Future has the effect where it can't be destroyed by card effects, or is it battle? I don't remember. It's one of those two. Let's see. It cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, and then when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can detach material from it to negate that effect, and if you do, you can then take control of that monster. But that is it for the extra deck. Moving on to the 2-card combo. So for the 2-card combo, you need Buzzsaw Shark and White Mirror. So what you do with this is you normal summon the Buzzsaw Shark, activates effect targeting itself. The only downside is this combo actually loses immediately to something like Ghost Ogre. Because if Ghost Ogre is used on a Buzzsaw targeting itself, then its target no longer has a level, therefore it can no longer summon anything. But you'll have Buzzsaw summon a copy of Silent Angler. Then you will overlay Silent Angler and Buzzsaw for a copy of Bahamut Shark. Then you'll activate Bahamut Shark's effect, detaching material, to then summon a Toad. You're probably seeing where this is going. Then you'll activate White Mirror, summon back Silent Angler, grab another Angler from your deck. And then if you don't have any other monsters you want to summon from your hand, because since you activate a spell, you can technically special summon Surfacing Big Jaws from your hand. And then you summon the Surfacing Big Jaws. Surfacing Big Jaws can then grab I can grab your copy of Drake Shark, which will summon itself, and then you can make a number 4 Stealth Kraken. But anyway, if you don't have Surfacing Big Jaws and there's nothing else you want to summon, you then special summon the second Silent Angler, overlay them for a second Bahamut Shark. You'll activate this Bahamut Shark's effect, summoning a second Toad. Then you will overlay the 2 Bahamut Sharks for your copy of Utopic Future, and you'll use Utopic Future to summon Draco Future. The best part of this is because you summon your Toad as your 4th summon, cards like Nibiru won't be able to resolve without some kind of assistance. And the best part is you can actually use Toad's effect to negate if you have a Silent Sea Nettle in your hand, which you can then just send to the grave, negate Nibiru's effect, destroy it, and if you really want to, you can then set Nibiru to your field, which I find really funny. But that is the 2-card combo. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any ideas what you can do to improve the deck, any ideas decks like to see be made in the future, or decks like to see face each other, feel free to comment down below. I always read the comments, and I'll go ahead and say it now. There's a reason I'm not playing the full armor cards in this deck, and that's just because I really do not like them. I do not know why I don't like them, I just know I don't like them. But like I said, if you have any comments or ideas, comment below. I always read them. Thank you for watching.